Designated Survivor Season 2, premiere episode, 1 year in. Wow! Here we are, guys. We have gotten a second season to a really surprise hit show. Say what you will about the first season, it was a pretty solid first season. There were some hits and misses for sure, but I really enjoyed it for what it was, even if there was some themes that didn't quite match up. Here, there must be some sort of focus group going on in the writing room because this first episode was solid in the purest form of the word. The politics, the characters, the people who stand up for the morals all had a part to play and didn't get jumbled in the mix of what was more important. What was the main focus of this episode is a Russian plane is hijacked by Ukrainian nationalists and the president, Kirkman, is faced with a hostage situation in which his diplomatic skills are definitely put to the test. He uncovers secrets and lies, and his cabinet members not only have to deal with the tension of finding out the truth, but also dealing with the awkward Lore Boone and juggling a writer around the White House as the president is indisposed to see him for most of the episode. Paul Costanzo plays Lore Boone, and he shows up in this episode of Designated Survivor trying out his potential position of White House political director. He acts like a know-it-all. Silly at best, pretentious at worst, and he really adds flavor to the cast of characters. While the episode has the common cases of platitudes where the words are kind of meaningless, oversaturated of I've heard this 1,000 times before, it almost has a breath of fresh air tone to it, like it's being spoken with really genuine tones and meant to its core. Adding in new motivation to the characters like Cal Penn, Seth Wright's character, possibly leaving, he feels like he doesn't really matter, so it was a very nice touch to see these kind of little character motivations. Aaron Shore and Emily Rhodes are the same, cause if it ain't broke, don't fix it. These are two very good characters considering the material they are given. They don't have to make the best of it. They are given just enough and they handle it very well. Especially since the tables have turned and Aaron is National Security Advisor and Emily is White House Chief of Staff. Hannah Wells is hot on the trail of whatever lead she can get her hands on to bring down the Damien Rennett, the guy who was behind the White House bombing. And while Damien is mostly absent in this episode, he has one appearance that pretty much tells all, that reveals how he feels in the last 6 months have transpired. Hannah Wells, though, is in this episode kinda as an afterthought. Not criticizing harshly here, but she is given enough screen time to show what she's up to, how she's doing it, how close she is getting, and it adds further intrigue to know how far she will get before Damien is caught, or where any of this may lead. I think the biggest bummer in this episode was no Kimball Hookstratton. She was the other designated survivor, and to be honest, I felt like she had a really great character arc in season 1, and I read that she isn't showing up for this season, which is disappointing. I felt she had a lot of tension and flavor to the show, but nevertheless, there's always hopes for the future. I also read that this is going to be a more or less twisty kind of season, so not all of the episodes will try so hard to get you in tune into next week's episode because they did that thing. Oh my god, so good! Designated Survivor is sticking to its style, its tone, its look, and feel. They, I'm sure, are going to increase the tension in the storylines this season for sure, but without the prospect of trying so hard to be interesting. They are just naturally going to stay the way they are. This episode was funny. Tiny bit confusing only because I'm not a big fan of politics, but the plot does sort itself out in fine style. Despite not being into politics or a fan of it, however, I am a fan of Kiefer frickin' Sutherland. I love this guy, and he can be my president any day. What did you guys think of this week's premiere? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll be getting more pilot episode reviews, full season reviews, and universe reviews all in the near future.